So being musical is something that should always be, of the utmost importance. And because that's really what you're trying to do, right? When you learn to play guitar is to be as musical as you possibly can. And it's not always easy. And I understand if you're a beginner, it just doesn't always work that way. Your fingers don't move the way you want them to. I'm doing finger style here. That stuff can be challenging. But even so, you really want to try and make, during a practice session, to have times where you're just trying to be musical, okay? And even if you're taking something where you don't really know what it is or what you're doing in a sense, right? So like even what I show you today and explain it, if you're a beginner and you're not grasping what I'm saying here, don't worry about that. Just take the moves, the fingerings here that I'm showing you, and just mess around, move them around, try to be musical, right? It may not be the greatest thing in the world. You may make a lot of mistakes, but hey, I may even make some mistakes here doing this show on you guys. So, but yeah, so what I really want to do is make this musical. So what I'm doing here is what I was playing here was what we call the intervals of tenths, okay? So a tenth interval would just be taking the third note, so in this case G, so remember your major scale, there's a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So if I go to the third note of the scale, which is a B, well, if I play that note an octave higher, now it would be a tenth, because when you play a major scale from this G, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, to that G, that would be one octave. So when we start over, you would say that that's 8, right? And then your second note would be 9, and then the third note again would be 10. So that's why we call these tenth intervals, because you're really playing the root of the chord to the third degree, but an octave higher. Again, if you don't understand that, that's okay. But just remember, one thing you should remember is that an interval is the distance between two notes, okay? So that's really important to understand, because that's what music is made up of. It's made up of intervals, right? If a song wasn't made up of intervals, it'd be a pretty boring song, right? So, and the reason I'm doing this lesson here is because I feel like this is something that could be beneficial for a beginner, any level, right? Because really, I'm only playing 2 notes, okay? So, I'm going to show you here now. So we're starting here. This is in the key of G. So I'm working through my harmonized scale, essentially, is what I'm doing here. So 3rd fret of the low E, and then the 4th fret of the G string. And I have my index and ring finger. And I'm going the same 2 strings the whole way up. So I'm just going to call it the frets. So 3 of the low E, 4 of the G. And then 5 and 5. 7 and 7. 8 and 9. 10 and 11, 12 and 12, 14, 14, and then back an octave higher, 15, 16. So this here, G and B, same notes as here, an octave higher. Let's bring it down, 14, 14, 12, 12, 10, 11, 8, 9, 7, 7, 5, 5, 3, 4, and we can go back to 2, 2, and then open. Okay, so now, you could just start. I mean, again, I'm taking this from like a very, basic, if you're a beginner or something like. So maybe you're just using your index or thumb here, middle, and you're just working your way up doing that through each one. Right? You could even jump. So I went up, instead of going to the second one, I went to the third one, and then I come back, and maybe I just keep jumping, etc. Right? I can make even bigger jumps, And I can start, adding more. So I could do is I could add in the open D string, because D is in the key. It's just to add a little bit more to it, right? So now what we can do is we can add in maybe some hits here. Now these are usually on 2 and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and because that would be the backbeat of a bar, right? So 2 beats 2 and 4. I'm just messing around right now, just trying to have a little fun, and you never know. Sometimes when, for me doing this, just all of a sudden I start coming up with something, and then I'm start writing a new song or something out of this. Okay, so again, that would be just, again, and then real quickly for those of you who maybe are a little bit more experienced here that know what's going on, like just so you see where I'm getting these from. So this right here, this is from this G bar chord, so the root on the third, and then the second one was five was from your A minor here, right? And then the B minor, and then C, and then D, and then E minor, and then you could say this was the what is it? The minor 7 flat 5. This shape here, and then back to E. Okay, so then now we could do the same stuff on the A string, right? So now I'm on the 10th fret of the A, and I'm at the 12th fret of the B string. So this is the same 2 notes as here. G and B, G and B, okay? Then I could go up to, I'm using my index and my pinky. I can go to 12 and 13. Then I'm gonna start getting, pretty high up there, so I can bring it down though. So that would be then, this is the beginning here, 10 and 12 of the A and B, and then 9 and 10, 7 and 8, 5 and 7, 3 and 5, 2 and 3, open A in the 1st fret. We can do this also with the root of G based on the D string. So this would be the 5th fret of the D string and the 7th fret of the high E. Again, it's the same 2 notes, G and B. What an important thing that is right there. Just to be able to find the same 2 notes like that in different areas on the neck. Okay, and then I can go up, so that's, again, it's the D and the high E, so it's 5 and 7 of the D string and the high E. And then we got 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 10 and 12, 12 and 14, and then you can do it at, what is this, 14 and 15, and then 16 and 17, and then you're back up here, an octave higher, that's 17 and 19. So some of you with acoustics that don't have cutaways, you're not gonna be able to make it that far, so that's okay. And I can bring that down. So back here at the starting point again, so 5 of the D string, and then D string, 5 of the D string, and then 7 of the high E. And we go back 1 to 4 and 5, and then 2 and 3, and then open D in the 2nd fret. Now here I could let the open B string ring out because B is in the key, so I did there, I jumped. Where am I at here now? So I was in here, but then I jumped up to the top section, or the top beginning one we did here, right? So then I could go, where am I at now? See, I'm making mistakes here and not seeing it as well as I should. So now what I'm just trying to get you to see is like, so there I dropped it down, right? Instead of jumping up all the way up here to get it, I found the same information here, okay? So again, 10th intervals, the idea here for many of you would just be to take these ideas and just try to have fun, try to be musical with them. You don't always have to know what you're doing, but it does help. But using your ears really is the utmost important thing. So, all right, thank you and have fun with that.